a Chinese takeaway classic. Cooked at home. It's cheaper and I promise you, it's more flavourful. Just look at those colours. You know it's going to be delicious. Let's rock. What's happening, folks? We'll kick things off with prepping our beef. Now we're going to slice and marinate this. So if you want to make the slicing more easy for yourself, leave the steak in the freezer for around 40 minutes beforehand. And you'll notice it's so much easier to slice your steak into nice, thin and even strips. Use around 200 grams of sirloin or rump steak. Before marinating, just check the strips you've cut. And if you feel like some of them are too chunky or too big, just slice down the middle of them like this. Now, if you are wondering, or have ever wondered before, how the meat in Chinese takeaways and restaurants is always so tender, well, they do this little technique called velveting. Now, with the research I've done and videos I've watched, some give different tips, but a lot of them, or if not all of them, always seem to agree on that you add an egg white, some vinegar, and ideally, if you have it, rice wine vinegar. And this where it seems to be a bit of dispute. But either baking soda or cornstarch. I had cornstarch, that's what I used. Everything I just used there was a teaspoon of rice wine vinegar, a teaspoon of sesame oil, a teaspoon of Chinese five spice, a pinch of salt, sugar, white pepper and MSG, and then one egg white. There you go, that's your velvet and your marinating and your seasoning done. Let that rest in the fridge, covered and chilled for around 15 minutes. Next, I'm just going to show you nice and quick how to cook rice properly. But if you've already seen in this channel before, or you already know how to do it, just skip ahead as there will be timestamps. So the most important part is just always wash and drain your rice at least 3 times. Then we're going to cover it with water for a couple of inches, don't add too much. And then if you have a rice cooker, just press the button, let it do its thing. If not, and you're like myself, and you don't have a decent rice cooker, just turn it up to high heat and bring the rice to a heavy boil for 5 minutes. Then turn it down to the lowest heat, take off the lid and let it simmer for another 5. And after that, turn off the heat completely, put the lid back on and just let it steam and finish up. And there you go, easy way to get that perfect fluffy rice. Time to prep the vegetables and make the sauce. Cut one bell pepper into chunks or slices, wherever you prefer. And then same with the onion, you can cut into thin slices or chunks. Then finally dice 2 chillies and cut a thumb sized piece of carrot to match 6 pieces. The best way of doing that is just slice down the sides, make it flat like that. Turn it over, cut some slices off and cut it into thin strips like that. And lastly, just finely dice some spring onions. Now while cooking this, we're only going to use half a bell pepper, half an onion, 1 chilli and a few pieces of carrot per serving. For the sauce, just add 3 tablespoons of sweet chilli sauce, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of ketchup, a teaspoon of sesame oil, rice wine vinegar, some Chinese cooking wine. If you have it, it's not essential, but it adds great flavour. Pinch of salt, MSG, white pepper and a teaspoon and a half of sugar. Now you can add more, you do add more in the Chinese takeaways and restaurants, but for me I think that's enough sugar to be honest, especially including with the sweet chilli sauce and the ketchup. And optionally, I like to add a teaspoon of chilli flakes for some kick. Your vegetables are prepped, the sauce is made, so we'll start to heat up the oil now. So just get out a pot or a pan, add your cooking oil, turn up to medium high and just let the oil heat up gradually. This should take around 10 to 15 minutes to heat up the cooking temperature, or if you have a thermometer, 160 to 180 degrees is the temperature you're looking for. Next, get out your beef. I'm going to coat it in a 50-50 mixture of cornstarch and flour. Make sure every part of the beef is covered. Now it's ready for frying. We're waiting for the oil to heat up all the way. We'll saute the vegetables. As you can see, I'm just sweating off half bell pepper, half white onion here with some oil in a wok. Begin to soften, get some nice colour. Add 2 cloves of garlic, some carrots and your chilli. When it's all cooked well together and fragrant, go ahead and fry your beef. Now this won't take much time at all because the beef strips are so small. It should only take around 1 to 2 minutes max if you heat up your oil correctly. Now I like to fry in batches, so that's fine. Just make sure you don't overcrowd the pan. And then drain the beef on some paper towels. Now if you don't have a pan big enough and you have to do 2 to 3 batches, as I said, that's fine. It will stay crispy. It only takes 1 to 2 minutes, so don't worry about anything going soggy or cold. If you're enjoying the content and you aren't already subscribed, why not go ahead and also drop a like on the video. It's much appreciated, folks. Almost at 500 subscribers. Thanks to all the fellow nasties. Get up. Tossing your beef to the wok, have it on high heat. You have to move quick enough here. Mix and toss everything together nice and fast, as you don't want the beef to hang around too long in the sauce, as it will become soggy. You still want a bit of crispiness. Just let it cook away for a bit like this. Get some nice colour and everything come together well. And there you go, look at that. Simple as that. Just top it with some spring onions, sesame seeds and chili flakes. Serve on top of a bed of rice. Or you can have on its own with some noodles. Who cares? You do you. And yeah, that's that I suppose, isn't it? Tops. Don't forget to stay nasty, folks. Yeah.